they die at all. They just hang around my mind like pictures hanging on the wall. The best of all the good times are the ones I still recall. Sweet dreams die hard if they die at all. I've seen a lot of yesterdays go by since you and I went separate ways, and I always thought you'd be another semi-precious memory. That time would fade. We're years away and worlds apart. We couldn't start to change what wasn't meant to be. Some old memories come and go, but after all the doors are closed, you're still the one I'm seeing in my dreams. Sweet dreams die hard if they die at all. They just hang around my mind like pictures hanging on the wall. The best of all the good times are the ones I still recall. Sweet dreams die hard if they die at all. I don't think about you all the time. You're never on my mind till late at night. When I wake up feeling guilty, with the one who really loves me lying by my side, I'm glad to be right where I am. I wouldn't want to try again with you and me. Even though the feelings are all gone, your memory just keeps hanging on. You're still the one I'm seeing in my dreams. Sweet dreams die hard if they die at all. They just hang around my mind like pictures hanging on the wall. The best of all the good times are the ones I still recall. Sweet dreams die hard if they die at all. Sweet dreams die hard if they die at all.
Hey everybody, I'm Scott Wikle. You're listening to My Kind of Country. Thanks for joining us on a Monday night. You just heard a beautiful duet from Joe Diffie and Dawn Anita, and it's called Sweet Dreams Die Hard. And we were very pleased to be able to be the first ones to air that song, and we did that right after Joe passed away this year. And tonight, there are more of those beautiful songs, and we have the lady here to tell us about them. We're going to play the entire project in its entirety for you tonight. It's a pleasure to welcome Dawn Anita back to My Kind of Country. Dawn Anita, how are you tonight?
Well, I'm doing good, Scott, and it's so good to get to talk to you, and I am just so proud that we are now being able to air all of those duets with Joe Diffie and me, and I'm so proud of them.
Well, I am too, and I want to thank you from the bottom of my heart. You've always been a big supporter of our station. You've been on the show several times, and I love that you listen to the show, and I get your Facebook posts, and that just means a lot.
Well, you have a great show, and both Jerry and I, we sit here and listen to it as often as we can because you have some of those really great country artists that I love and a lot of independent artists, and I love your interviews.
Well, I appreciate that. Well, you'll get to hear yourself tonight, right?
Sometimes that's good, and sometimes if you screw up, it's not quite as good. But
yeah, well, that's usually on my part. I'm usually the one that makes a mistake somewhere, and I'm like, why did I say that? But it is what it is. Most folks that know me know that I like to have conversations, and I very rarely edit my interviews. I just like to let them run the way they are because that's how they were presented. And I think you lose something if you start chopping them up.
I think you're right, and I can tell that from the interviews. And like I said, I really, really enjoy. You do such a great job, and I enjoy hearing about all of the old artists and the experiences they've had and what they've done. And so it really is a good show, Scott.
Thank you so much. And you certainly have had a lot of great experiences, too. I know that you worked with Bob Wills' Texas Playboys for about 5 years, I think, right?
That is correct. I had, that was early in my career, and I didn't really realize how lucky I was to be playing with such a great group of people, musicians at the time. But as I moved on into my career years later, I thought, man, was I lucky. They really taught me a lot of things, and I was so privileged to get to work with them.
Boy, I tell you, that's not something too many people can say. That's an honor, no doubt about it.
Well, we had a lot of fun together. I tell you, they were so talented and a nice bunch of guys, and I really treasure those memories.
I would imagine so. And congratulations, too, on your AWA nominations for this year. And, of course, you're the 2018 Western Female Vocalist with them. And boy, I tell you, I just don't think it's any more well-deserved than going to you.
Well, thank you very much. And I would like to congratulate you also for your nomination. I tell you what, well-deserved.
Well, thank you. I was surprised I got nominated. I won their current award for DJ of the Year, and I was surprised I got nominated again. So I guess...
Well, you shouldn't be. You're just good, that's all.
Well, I got good music to play. That's what matters.
Well, you do, and you play music that I love to listen to.
Well, I certainly love your music, and of course, your latest album, "Saddling Up for God, Country and Cowboys." We play a lot of those tracks, and of course, "Stand Up." I'm talking about Texas is one of our favorites, and your album too with your brother Jerry Don is just stellar.
Well, I appreciate that.
Well, and of course, we got some new music to play tonight, and I'm looking forward to this. First of all, you are Joe Diffie's aunt, right?
That's correct. Yes, he was my brother's boy, and he was a fine, fine person, a great artist, and he just was full of music from the time he was a little boy. I knew that he was going to be a star if he ever got the opportunity, and he proved me right.
Boy, he sure did in a big way. And it was very special to me that you sent me the song that we played at the beginning of the show, "Sweet Dreams Die Hard," and we played that right after Joe passed away. I was actually scheduled to interview him, and when I got the call that he passed away, I was just shocked, and I was so saddened that we didn't get a chance to talk. But it makes me feel really good that I get to talk to you.
Well, I appreciate that, and it was such a shock to everyone, and of course I still miss him every day, so it just, you can't, someone like that is just, he makes an impression, and he was such a good guy that I loved him to pieces.
He had so many great songs, and of course, people remember, I think, more of his up-tempo novelty songs, but I'll tell you, he could sing a ballad right up there with the best of them. I heard him.
Man, I tell you what, I know that you're familiar with the song "Ships That Don't Come In."
Yeah.
I don't know if you ever got to see him perform live, but he could hold that last note on that. It just would blow you away, blow your mind how long he could hold that last note on that song. And he was a great ballad singer. He really could do that. But I know that he was more well known for his kind of up-tempo type songs, which they were good too.
Oh, absolutely. Yeah, absolutely. Well, this album is available, folks, at dawnanita.com. We will have that information on our Facebook page. And also thanks to Dina Wood and Indie Express for getting that out to all the DJs. And this is a 5-song project that you guys recorded. And give me a little bit of the background on how this whole thing came to be.
Well, we were singing this was about the mid-'80s, And Joe lived in Duncan at that time, and of course I did too. And we were working the clubs on the weekend, and we had been working together over a year. And he got a recording studio, bought a little building and put in a recording studio. And he asked me, after we had been singing together all that time, if we would like, if I would like to record some songs with him. And I said, well, I think that'd be great. I had a few connections at the time in Nashville. One of them was with Warner Brothers, and so we picked out the songs, and this particular song, Sweet Dreams Die Hard, it was written by a good friend of mine who's had some cuts by some other well-known artists named Gary Sefton, and I thought it was a special tune, and sure enough, when I played it for Joe, he really liked it. And when we went into the studio, I believe magic happened on that song. And so I sent it to my friend at Warner Brothers, and he was really interested. We came real close to getting the deal with Warner Brothers. It didn't happen, but after that, Joe decided to move to Nashville, and when he got there, he was having a struggle, and he couldn't get anybody to talk to him, and he called me up, and he said, Aunt Dawn Anita, I'm coming home. I said, don't you do that. And he said, well, I can't get anybody to talk to me. And I said, well, you hold on. And I called my friend at Warner Brothers, and he got a hold of Joe, and he introduced him around town to a lot of the songwriters who were doing well at the time, and of course Joe could sing so well, he started doing demos, and that's how he eventually got his deal.
Wow.
So anyway, but we came real close, and it's Sweet Dreams Die Hard. It is, it's bittersweet to me. I love the song. I think it's a wonderful song, and of course it brings joy and it brings tears at the same time.
Absolutely. Well, we're going to play all these songs tonight, but let's talk about a couple of them, and then we'll play them and come back and talk about the other two. You mentioned Tears, and there's a song on here called Tears.
Yeah, there is. That was written by Felice and Boudreaux Bryant, and it was just I love that song. It's kind of a bluegrass flavor, but I really, really, we just worked real well with that song. So we thought, oh, heck, why don't we record it?
Well, boy, that's amazing songwriters right there. Those two wrote some of the most classic songs in country music.
Oh, they did. And I wasn't familiar with the song, and Joe was, and he'd been singing some bluegrass. And I said, man, that's a good song. Let's record that. So that we just decided to go ahead and put that on the list of songs we were doing at the time.
Wow, that's great. Tell me about the song The Sadder the Story.
Well, that is also written by Gary Sefton, and I fell in love with that song immediately when I heard it. It was he's a great songwriter, and I pitched that song around to a lot of people and tried to get them to record it, and no one ever did, and I just couldn't understand why, because it was such a great song. So when I played it for Joe, he said, "Oh yes, we've got to do that song. It has so much depth and such a great tune, and it just, the lyrics just really pull me in."
That's what I like about it too. Absolutely. Well, let's take a little break and play those, The Sadder the Story and Tears. This is from the new project, Sweet Dreams Die Hard, Dawn Anita and Joe Diffie, and it's available at dawnanita.com, and I'm sure this will be available at all the usual streaming places and places that we get music nowadays on the internet, but dawnanita.com is the place to go, and you can get I guess we call this an EP. It's a 5-song project, so you can get a CD of it, right?
That's right. Absolutely.
All right. Well, let's play those, and we'll come back and talk to Dawn Anita about the other songs. Here is Dawn Anita and Joe Diffie in My Kind of Country.
tears in my heart, tears in my eyes, tears on my pillow when the sun wakes up the skies. Why are we through? Where will I find tears enough to wash you from my mind? From my mind. Lonesome dewdrops, pools of sorrow, where do they come from? Where do they go? Rain this evening, rain tomorrow, oceans of sadness because I miss you so. I've got tears in my heart, tears in my eyes, tears on my pillow when the sun wakes up the skies. Why are we through? Where will I find tears enough to wash you from my mind? From my mind. Endless waters I have got on. Where is the sunshine? Where has it been? Well of misery has no bottom. Here I go crying rivers again. I've got tears in my heart, tears in my eyes, tears on my pillow when the sun wakes up the skies. Why are we through? Where will I find tears enough to wash you from my mind? From my mind, from my mind. The sound of a heartbeat is lost in a last sad goodbye. Together aren't always forever, but I know we tried.
Hard knots and gold rings come untied like shoestrings when two rights can still make a wrong. After the echo of yesterday's rainbows are gone, the sadder the story, the sweeter the song. The sadder the story, the sweeter the song. The harder the wind blows, the farther I'm gone. We fill empty spaces with new names and faces, but the melody lives on and on. After the echo of yesterday's rainbows are gone, the sadder the story, the sweeter the song.
Love isn't wrong when love isn't as strong as it seems. We live and we learn while we're building and burning our dreams.
So thanks for the good times, remember the good lines, and put them back where they belong.
After the echo of yesterday's rainbows are gone, The sadder the story, the sweeter the song. The sadder the story, the sweeter the song. The harder the wind blows, the farther I'm gone. We fill empty spaces with new names and faces, but the melody lives on and on. After the echo of yesterday's rainbows are gone, the sadder the story, the sweeter the song. Story, the sweeter the song.
All right, that's Dawn Anita and Joe Diffie. Sweet Dreams Die Hard is the name of the project. DawnAnita.com is the website, folks. And I've got Dawn Anita with me tonight talking about this fantastic project. And Dawn Anita, one of the songs on here has been a favorite of mine, and it was never a big hit for Merle Haggard, but he wrote the song and recorded it on an album, and it's become kind of a cult favorite with Merle Haggard fans, and a lot of artists have covered it. I know that Susie Boggess has done it, just a bunch of artists, and Somewhere Between.
Oh, yes, and I tell you what, Bill Mack, I know you know who Bill Mack was, but Bill Mack, years ago when I was at the Texas Playboys, well, he had a song. He recorded that song as a duet, and I apologize for not knowing who the lady was that recorded it with him, but Bill Mack was on a lot of shows, and he always wanted me to sing that with him. And so I'd sing that on the shows. And then, of course, Joe, as a young man, he heard me singing that with Bill Mack, and he said, you know, one of the songs that you do with Bill Mack that I really like is that Merle Haggard song, Somewhere Between, and it just worked so well for us, and our vocals blended so good, and I've always loved that song.
Absolutely, absolutely. And the other song, Blow Gentle Breezes.
Well, you know, that's a tune that actually our uncle, my dad's brother, wrote it, and kind of he had a version of it that I changed a little bit, and we loved it. It kind of turned into almost a calypso sound, but I've always loved the lyrics in it and loved the feel of the song, and it was a happy song that we could do. I mean, you know, people loved it whenever we would perform it together. And so I changed it a little bit. And he said, well, you know, I wrote it just because I did. And he said, you do whatever you want to with it, Dawn Anita. So we recorded it, and I thought it turned out really good. It's kind of a feel-good song to me.
Absolutely.
I like the lyrics real well.
Yeah, absolutely. And we were talking about Somewhere Between two with... it was Wanda Conklin was the lady's name that sang it.
That's right. Yeah. Thank you very much for remembering that.
I had to think on it for a minute, but it finally came to me.
How about that?
Absolutely. Well, the question beckons, why wasn't this project released years ago?
Well, I tell you what happened. You know, we kept hoping we were going to get a deal with Warner Brothers. And then when that didn't happen, well, and Joe got his deal, you know, we discussed those tunes that we had recorded, and he said, you know, you can do whatever you want to with them, Aunt Donna. They belong to you. And I said, well, your career is new, and I don't want to do anything that will, you know, I didn't want to put them out independently. And to be honest with you, back then we didn't have a way, independent artists didn't have a way of getting heard like they do now with shows like yours. And so down through the years, I put an album together back in, I think, 2009 and talked to Joe about it. Excuse me. And he said, well, go ahead and put it out. And I said, well, I don't know. And about that time, then the internet started all of, where they had these radio shows. And I had a lot of music that I was doing on my own. And so I started putting out my music, and it just never did get released. And after he passed away, I thought it's time for people to hear this music.
Absolutely. I'm so glad you did, because they're beautiful songs, and I really appreciate you sharing them with my audience tonight. And I know everybody's going to want to get this. It's dawnanita.com is the website. And the album is called Sweet Dreams Die Hard with Joe Diffie. And
I might mention to you something that I know you probably know about this. I had a pilot television show called the Dawn Anita Show back it was actually in '89. And this was just before Joe got signed to a contract, and he came on as a guest on the pilot show and sang Sweet Dreams Die Hard with me. And there's a video out there now that it shows our performance together. So if you just go on there and look for Joe Diffie, Dawn Anita, Sweet Dreams Die Hard, you'll see that video. Now, CD Baby has one of just the cover, but it's the one where it's our actual performance. So I think fans might like to go and listen to that.
Oh, absolutely. We'll find it and put it on our Facebook page.
Okay, great.
Yeah, absolutely. I'm glad you told me that. That's great. Well, we're going to play Somewhere Between and Blow Gentle Breezes from the album, and that's all 5 songs we've played for you tonight. So I hope folks will go to dawnanita.com and make sure you get a copy of this historic and wonderful project. And Dawn Anita, thank you so very much for being on My Kind of Country always, and again, really appreciate your support so much.
Well, thank you very much, Scott. It's really been a privilege, and I always enjoy getting to talk to you, so I really appreciate your support.
Well, likewise, and let's do it again soon, all right?
Okay, all righty.
All right, here is Dawn Anita and Joe Diffie as we continue with My Kind of Country.
Somewhere between your heart and mine, there's a window that I can't see through. There's a wall so high it reaches the sky. reaches the sky, somewhere between me and you, somewhere between me and you. Blow, gentle breezes softly over water, fill all my sails with the perfume of love. Take a message to my lover, while fast away my heart beats like the wings of a dove. Oh, my darling, I am lonely. Say